Hello everyone, welcome to Mentality Module. My name is Kasiita Simon and I will be your lecturer in this season. In this season, we'll be talking about the mind of a human being, how it works and how we can develop it and be successful in our life and be happy mostly. You know, being successful does not mean that you gain money a lot, but being successful is gaining the happiness in your life. You know, we always say money does not make someone happy, because no matter how much money somebody might have, but if that money cannot solve a certain problem, then he will be unhappy. But when you set your mind, have a mind that can overcome these challenges, then you will have a happy life no matter how big the challenges you might be facing. So I'll kickstart with a story about me. I'll give this example to show you how having a fixed mind, because we are having two types of mindset. We have the fixed mindset and we have the growth mindset. With a fixed mindset, somebody thinks that talent or any development in his life cannot happen. It will always be like that, no matter how much he tries. But with a growth mindset, is like, no, even though I'm not doing very well, but as long as I keep training and hoping everything will be okay at some point, any day. So having hope in our life is really very important to us. If we lose hope, then we have lost the most important thing in our life. Because hope is the one that keeps us going. Hope is the one that keeps us strong. Faith is the one that keeps us reading. You know, when you're at school, there are many times you fail in a paper, but next time you are reading so hard. The reason you are reading is not because you know you are going to pass, but you are hoping that if I read, at least I will pass. Hope should come from you are facing a very rough situation, but as long as you can look at it in a different way, then you will be happy. You know, one time we were at school and then we were having a meeting with our DOS, Director of Studies. Then she was telling us, you should have role models in your life. And then she told us, okay, one by one will be coming and telling us about their role model. So many students came, my father is my role model because he's a successful man and because he's working hard. For me, this musician is my role model. So everyone, you could even predict what they are going to say. And then it was my time, I was like, for me, my role model is Julio. Because everyone was like, who's Julio? We don't know even who's Julio. You know, very many people are talking about famous musicians, yeah, this one. Then no one knows about Julio. So I'm like, Julio was a drug addict. Even the head of our studies was like, so everyone opened their ears to listen to me. So I told them, for me, my role model is Julio. Why? Because he was a drug addict. He was addicted to drugs for 20 years. So no matter how many times he went to the rehabilitation center, he never learned anything. He would go out and then come back the second time. They would always arrest him and take him back to the rehabilitation center. But then one day he was very hungry and he was in the park. He was very hungry. You know, when these drugs wear off, then when you are still drugged by the drugs, you cannot feel hunger. You cannot feel any pain. But when they wear off, you start feeling hunger. So also he was feeling hunger. Then he looked for where to find food. Then he went in the dust and then he was eating bread. So when he got full, he realized a strange taste from the bread. This bread was rotten. He said, how have I reached at this point? So at that time he was thinking about his life. He looked at the parents walking with their children in the park, playing with their children in the park. He saw people getting married. He thought of their friends. So at that time he was like, how my life is going to be miserable forever. As if I don't change, I'm going to be miserable. My life is going to end up in misery. So that's why he said, oh, okay, it's time to change. Though he said it is time to change, he could not change at that moment. He was arrested again. This time when he went, surprisingly, he was listening very well. So this time when he looked around at his friends, everyone was sleeping, others were not minding, even others were not even looking at the teacher. The teacher, the one who was, the specialist who was training them, spoke the same exact words, but this time the words were different to him. He was able to change. He was able to learn how to overcome addiction of drugs. And as time passed by, he was able to change his life, and now he lives a very beautiful life. This is because the kind of mind he was like, and no matter how much I try, he had no hope. He had no mission in his life. That's why the kind of mind he had to set in his life was a mind of failure, a fixed mind of I cannot change. No matter how much this person tells me, I cannot change. I'm addicted to drugs. The only thing that can support me now is drugs. Without drugs, I cannot function very well. Without drugs, I'm going to feel tired. Without work, I cannot work. So this is how he lived his life. By the time he received the hope, the time he received a mission, I want to have a better life. I want to get married. I want to have children. I want to live in a beautiful house. I want to eat good food, not this rotten food on the street. That time he was able to listen the same words, but in different way. There was this philosophy who discovered these two kinds of mindset, the fixed and the growth mindset. So this kind of mindset, depending on how you look at it, then this is how you will live. So fixed mindset does not only mean that you are thinking everything negatively. You will have a positive mind of, I am good, I will be, no matter how bad I may face this kind of situation, I am good. For example, a footballer. If this footballer is always scoring in each game, and then he will always trust in himself, no, I'm good. In each game, I have to score. But then in one match, he fails to score. Because of the fixed mindset he has, I have to score in each match at least one goal. But then in this one match, he fails to score. He will fall into depression because this is not the kind of mind he had set in his life. No, that means he will start, now I'm a failure. Now I'll never be able to score again. I'll never be with a fixed mindset. So fixing your mindset isn't good in our life. Isn't good in our situation. You see, when we are planning our life, for example, you wake up in the morning, you say, I'm going to brush, eat breakfast, after breakfast, then come to school, then after school, come back home, eat dinner, watch some TV. This is how we plan our life. No one plans that, I wake up in the morning, so as I'm going to school, I'll get an accident. No one plans his life like this. But things happen. When you have a fixed mindset of, I'm supposed to do this, this, and this, and this, when something different happens in that time, or something negatively happens not according to the way you planned it, you will fall into depression. But when you are expecting anything could happen at any time, and you set your mind in a straight, so when you face this challenge, for example, when you fall down, instead of crying, now I'm not going to go to school, now my clothes are dirty, how about you get up and then say, no, these clothes are dirty. If I cover it with a jacket, no one will see the dirt inside. Or, this cloth is dirty, but I still have time, I can go and change. This is how our life, this is the life we are living in. Our life is not a straight path. When we think we are going to live in a straight line, in a straight life, a beautiful life forever, then we are going to be disappointed each and every day. People who are lame, people who are hungry, people who are on the street, nobody wants to be there. People are there because the situation put them there. But depending on which kind of mindset they have in that situation, they will either be happy or unhappy. For example, if I am a beggar and I am on the street, if I say I will never change my life, I'm going to be hungry, even I'll die a beggar, then you will always be unhappy in this kind of situation. But when you're a beggar and then you're like, as long as I get some little money, or if I continue searching for the job, I will be able to overcome this challenge and I will get a home to stay. Then I will have hope, and each day I'll live it with happiness. That's why there is this cartoon I always see, the animation called Kung Fu Panda. There is that tortoise, it's called Ugwe. He told, yesterday is the past, but today is a present, is a gift. That's why it's called present. So when you live your life as today is a gift, you live no matter how many challenges you face in that day. If you believe this day is a gift to me, I will always be happy and I will have this chance to learn. You know, when I finished my exams, I was supposed to go back to Uganda. And then, because even before I came to Kenya, I'd set my plan. After set exams like this, I'm going back to Uganda. But then, when I finished exams, I called my senior pastor and I was like, Pastor, I have finished the exam. I'm doing the exams this time. What can I do? He said, no, Hamim, now focus on the exams. After the exams, we'll talk, we will see how God will guide us. And then I thought, so after exams, we will go. He's just speaking like that so that I can wait. But then I waited. After exams, I waited 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then 4 weeks. No answer. Then I'm like, Pastor, when am I coming? He told me, Hamim, I want you to learn very well in GPS. So I don't want, why do you need to come back this time? So in my mind, I was feeling very angry. I was like, why is it happening to me? Why don't I just go back home? What brought me here is studying, and I've finished studying. Why am I still here? I felt very uncomfortable. But then I received another word from my friend. He was like, why don't you just learn? When you learn, you are gaining. These skills he is not the one who's gaining these skills. You are the one who's gaining these skills. And when you gain these skills, you will live, they will benefit you in very many ways. So just learn. As time goes on, even just continue even with the diploma as he has guided you. So that time, I changed my mind. I said, this time I'm no longer Ugandan, I'm now Kenyan. As when God wants me to be Ugandan again, then I will go back to Uganda. If God allows me to go back, then I will go back. But in this time, even my heart is relieved. I'm even happy. I no longer feel that sadness that I used to feel. When I set my mind in this kind of direction, that's why I will always be unhappy each and every day. But when I set my mind positively, I am happy. You know, I am teaching you now that we should change our mindset. We should have a growth mindset. But many times we will face challenges. And these challenges, they cannot just go away just because we want them to go away. But we need to receive something, an external knowledge, an external force towards us. For example, when you are facing this, you know, we hear about motivators. You know, I used to hate this kind of people. And I was like, for them, they just speak this and this, this, because they don't know the kind of situation you are facing. And then my friend told me, just because they don't know your life, they just give you an opinion of how you can live your life. It is an opinion, and many people benefit from them. And for you, because you have this mind that they are just wasting your time, they don't know your situation, even if they speak something very important that can help you, you will not learn from them. you will instead fail each and every time. We will always have very many challenges, and though I'm teaching you how you should live a positive life, but the next day, even me myself, I might face the same situation that you are facing, and then I'm like depressed. But how can I overcome this if I receive another opinion of how I live my life? That's why we say having a fixed mindset is really dangerous for our life. Having a fixed mindset, you can lose hope. And when you lose hope, you lose your life. So I hope that when you face any challenge, receive another opinion about that challenge. Because the first opinion when you face a challenge is that, because of this, and now my life is miserable. You receive only the negative thoughts. But then when you receive another thought that is different from the way you are thinking, then you either choose to listen to the positive or you choose to listen to the negative. And depending on what you choose, you will either be happy or you will be sad. Thank you very much. We shall meet in another episode. Thank you. Bye.